bit of a new thing for me here, so I don't know. It looks like the lighting's okay, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see how that's doing. How's everyone on this fine evening tonight? How we doing? This is a bit of a trial and error going on here. I don't have two cams. Yes, the music is playing. Let me know if it's still loud, by the way. Actually, I'm going to turn it down. I can actually. I just want to look. Yeah, I know it. I know it is. I know it's still going. That was intentional because I don't want there to just be like nothing. Psych. There we go. I guess that's how we're gonna do things. All right. So tonight, as advertised, we are gonna be painting a Khorne Berzerker. One of the few I have built right now. Actually, one of the few that I've actually primed. Can't really. There we go. That's a terrible view. Will it focus? Come on. Will it try and focus, please? I don't know. Anyways, we're going to be doing some of that tonight. Depending on how far along I get with it, we might end up building some more too. I do have a few built right now, but I have not finished this full squad, so we will... Yeah, I know they are. Alright. Yeah, hand reveal, by the way. Okay. Yeah, this is very much not my professional setup. I usually do things and I actually have a setup that I use, and this is not it. So we are kind of improvising tonight. So without further ado, let's get started, I guess. The bones in the hands, man, you can see them. The first paint that I will be using tonight, these are all the brand paints, by the way. The first paint that I'll be using tonight is Retributor Armor. This is the recommended base kind of trim color. So how I do a lot of the Chaos Marines that I've done, I've actually done quite a few. I can actually show you a bunch of the ones that I've already done. There are different colors. I haven't done any of my World Eaters yet. I've done more of just generic ones. So let me find one that's actually good. Hang on a second. Well, actually, I don't have any of those over there. Good thing I do. So I did one of these are not the only. This is not the only one I've painted. It's kind of, if it will focus, that would be nice. This is just a this is one of the chosen miniatures that I painted. It's really hard to see because the color scheme is very muted. It's more of just a dark almost like a maroon, I guess. It's like a maroon and a black. If it will focus, that'd be nice. The lighting is not very good in my place right now. But yeah, I've done a few more. I just don't have them on hand right now. So yeah, let's get it going here. I was gonna do the music, and I was so upset that it never actually that it was too loud. I'm gonna have to figure out how to check that volume. Make sure let's thin down a little bit. But so how I usually do my Chaos Marines, and I'll show you guys right here just with this pauldron. Usually I start with usually I start from the legs up, but just as an example, I'll do this here. I always do I always do the trim color first. Tertiaries are usually the things that I do first because I'm not one of the people that can do like the I'm not one of the people that can do like the tertiaries after and the primaries first. I always do the tertiaries first. That way, I'm gonna take some of the paint off a little bit because it's a little thick there. That way I can. It's just so much easier because the tertiary space is so much smaller. And it's so much easier to mess it up than it is to mess up like the primary. Primary is way easier to fix than something like the trim on these motherfuckers is crazy detailed, and I do not want to mess it up. So we'll just be going over most of the model with this tertiary color right off the bat here. Let me move you out of the way a little bit. I'm just gonna take like a little bit amount. I'm using a larger brush because I'm just going over like almost the entire miniature, so I don't need to worry about detailing. I'll pick out the details later in the model here. So I'm just going over like everything except for like the flesh. The flesh is the only thing that I'm trying to avoid because going over that stuff with like the flesh tones and the contrast paints is low-key a pain in the ass. I did already kind of catch the flesh a little bit, but it's only like a tiny bit. Wear gloves because I want my hands aren't skinny or injured. Mine are just normal. I wear gloves because you know what? That's fair. That's valid. I know there are some people. I mean, when I like prime models, like when I was priming this guy this afternoon, I always wear gloves when I prime because the primer that I use, like the WARHAMMER like brand primer, is just like so just like icky, and when it gets on my hands, it does not want to come off unless I wash the crap out of them. So it is very irritating to deal with, so I always try and wear like just like rubber gloves or some shit. And that usually does the trick. Oh, by the way, guys, I do have new commands that I have set up. I've finally been able to set up the bot, the Streamlabs bot. So I don't know if right now the only commands that I have right now are like so I've got lurk. I do have a lurk one, which is just a fun little interactive one. And I do have one that shows the Discord. So if you stumble upon this stream and you want to, the Discord is in like the description, but if you just want to keep like watching the stream and not having to go redirect to a whole other website, it is available in the commands. You literally just have to do like the exclamation mark Discord, and it should send the link. If the link is for whatever reason invalid, just let me know and I can probably fix it at some point. Maybe not like right this instant, but I definitely can in the future, because sometimes the links are weird. Sometimes they like to work, sometimes they don't. Oh fuck. Okay, so we're getting there. We have almost the whole thing. I'm using very thin coats because I do not want to mess these models up. Because, I mean, if you're a painter, you know the age-old meme, I guess, of thinning your paints. Have you guys seen that video? It's one of the funniest videos that I've ever seen, and it is one of the first videos that I was shown when I started collecting. And it is the first video that I will always show anybody who starts off. It's like, because if you don't thin your paints, you'll end up looking like all sorts of weird and messed up. Guys, look at him. He's so golden. He's so precious. He's so amazing. The funniest part about this is that I don't even actually play World Eaters. They're my favorite Legion, like hands down they're my favorite Legion, but I don't actually even play them like on the tabletop. Hello Squid. The color scheme, we're just doing regular World Eaters.
red and gold. I'm starting off with a tertiary. Like I mentioned previously, I don't know if you're here, but I always start models off with the tertiary colors, and then I just go over them with the primary. It is like my little cheat code that I learned for painting chaos trim and just making it leagues more easier than it used to be. Because when I first started, I was like, well, I'll prime it the primary color, and then I'll just fill in the trim, which was a very big mistake. Yeah, we're painting this guy. I don't have any of my other world eaters primed right now, but I will at some point. I might just build more depending on how far I get on this guy tonight. But yeah, I'm not worrying about any of the detailing right now. I'm just trying to block in the primary colors. I think that's... Oh no, I missed a few pieces. I missed a few places on the foot here. And I'll worry about detailing once I get to like the actual details, once I'm done all the trim here. I love this color. Retributor Gold is one of my favorite paints. I couldn't recommend it enough for just gold trim in general, whether or not that's World Eaters or Ultramarines or something like that. I've got a buddy who plays Ultramarines, and he swears by it. He loves Retributor armor. It's one of his favorite paints. He's also the same guy that I've told he needs to lighten up on his blues, because he goes really heavy with his blues. And I've always told him, like, dude, you need to like lighten up a little bit. But I'm never the kind of person to be like, actually, that's not how you do it, you know. If he wants to do it heavy, then so what? Let him do it heavy. It's not really my... they're not my models, so I can't, like... And I'm not going to gatekeep someone into painting a certain way. I can only ever, like, advise them or whatever. Let me see here. I can probably do, like, the chain axe. I'm just going to get a better look, see if I can see anything else I missed. Oh, there are a few things. There are so many details in these models, just like chaos models in general. There are so many details, and it is so easy to miss certain ones. They're like the smallest ones too, like whether that's like a gap in the armor or just like a part of the armor that was hidden by like a weapon or something. So when you're doing this, you absolutely have to make sure that you're getting like everything, which is why it would have been a lot easier to just prime this guy in the Retributor armor like primer, but I was literally like the other day I was like, hey, I should probably get some of that, but it would not have gotten here within 3 days when I first was thinking about it 3 days ago. So but I'll probably head up to my LGS at some point and see if they have any. I haven't been up there in a while. Maybe I'll go up there and see what's up. Okay, hang on. This is irritating me. Because it's like a little box that I have this in, and it's like I'm just gonna what am I doing here? There. Okay, this is gonna make it way easier if I just do it like this, so that I don't have to like arc my hands over it or anything like what I've been doing for the last few minutes. There we go. Okay, that is way easier and way safer. Let me move my keyboard out of the way. You know what, Dragon, that's totally cool. For the longest time when I first started, my very first army was just like generic Space Marines, and all of them are primed, but like almost none of them are actually painted. So I can totally 100% sympathize with that, man. I did not have the patience for painting back then, and I'm kind of paying for it now, because I wouldn't have learned it otherwise if I just dove into the deep end and just done it. But it's whatever. You live and you learn, I guess. All right. I think that's good for the tertiary. I don't see any areas. I mean, actually, let me do no, because that's gonna be like silver. Oh. Yeah, I'll fix that in a second, but I do need to get the axe here. Because that is 100% gonna, that trim is 100% gonna be golden. And then I need to get like the fingers on this gauntlet. I probably will at some point invest in like a better camera, specifically for this reason. I didn't need like a top of the notch one for like tracking the model, because it literally doesn't even matter what the quality is. It just matters that it is a camera. I could be literally using like the shittiest camera imaginable and it would still be perfectly fine. I mean, it might be a little like shitty, but it would work. But I wanted to get at least something that worked at least somewhat. So this is what we have for now, and we might change it at some point, but that's further down the road. That's not like an immediate issue, because this is not something that I plan on doing like super regularly, probably only like once a week or so. And the other days a week are gonna be my avatar, which she is in the corner there. She's peeking and she's watching, but I don't have 2 webcams, so I can't do like the facial tracking and also the hand cam. That again, that'll come. Ooh, you have the old ones, the old pots. That's cool. Real, yeah. Oh, dude. So you know what's even worse than that though is that having enough paint and then spilling it. I still have a pot of one of the Earthshade paints that I had, and I was right in the middle of painting. I think it was a Tyrannid. Because I moved to Tyranids briefly before I switched over to Chaos Marines, and I was painting one and I had it and I was doing great, and I moved my hand and I spilled over this Earthshade pot, and I was so mad because it was the only one that I had. I have not gotten around to just getting another one. That's another reason to go to my LGS at some point. Alright, I think that's everything for the tertiary. I'm just gonna hit the areas under here. Originally, I really wasn't a fan of like how some of the models in this range looked, where like they had like the bare arm here, like that bare arm there, but it's kind of grown on me. It's better than the gloves. I hate the models that have like the gloves on them. It just looks so stupid. I would much rather have them just be like the bare arms, or like the gauntlets from like the power armor, rather than just gloves. Gloves are stupid. Gloves are really stupid. Down under, real. Spilling paint makes me mad. I was making my YouTube logo. Oh, dude. Oh, no. That sucks. That sucks, man. Yeah, you always got to make sure you do it when you're not wearing a white shirt. Alright. Oh my god, this guy still has like the primer smell. Because I only primed him like earlier today, so he still kind of reeks a little bit. I think I got all of like the little cracks. God, I wish I had like a lamp. I don't have like a lamp in here in my room. Patrick, hey Patrick, how you doing? Sorry if you were here earlier in chat and I didn't see you. That's my fault. I'm locked in right now, as you can clearly see. As you can clearly see, I am locked in. All right, I think that's it for tertiary. So I'm going to. Weird. All right. So there's that. I'm gonna let that brush soak a little bit, and we're gonna start blocking out some of the. A snow poncho? Oh my god. That's valid. Honestly, that's valid. I will say though, the only way that you can get better, and just the only way that you can get any sort of progress, is you just gotta do it. And that's the thing that sucks, is you just have to do it. I can totally understand just not wanting to. That was me when I first started, but like, you just kind of have to like force yourself to do it, and then when you get into like a good enough groove, you can actually like, and then you can actually like enjoy doing it. Like I still don't really enjoy doing it. I mean, I do, because it's like fun, and I get to like, you know, I get to see one of these guys come to life. But I still have moments where I'm like, I mean, there are so many models in my collection that I have unpainted. So many that are just like primed, and some other that it's just like the great gray horde. Oh god, jackals. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to painting jackals. Especially the new kill team. That's gonna suck. I'm gonna go refill my water bottle. I will be right back, guys. Let me just fucking mute myself here. I'll be right back. You guys get to stare at my my cardboard palette here for a few minutes. And kind of going back to my earlier note about like just forcing yourself to paint. Like, this is one of the ways that I've found that would like actually like force me to do it. Is like putting myself in front of like a camera and being like, all right guys, tonight we're gonna paint and we're gonna do nothing else. 3D print stuff, honestly, that's valid. Yeah, I can totally get with the idea of just, you know, maybe not having enough money to get into it, and just like just paint, just finding shit online, finding like good 3D printable models. But then therein lies the problem of, then you have to find a good 3D printer, or you have to find someone who is good, or that someone that you know that you can trust who has a good 3D printer, and then getting them to actually like print something for you. This paint is probably dried. Let me just get some of that. There's some cat hair. That's nice. That's lovely. Hans, blood for the blood god. I see you. I see you. A fellow world eater, my friend. Alright. Another thing is I kind of put that on a little too thick. So we're just going to we're going to take the amount that we have, and we're just going to kind of flow with it. And depending on how long, I might not even finish this tonight, but I will hopefully get to finishing it either, and whether that's on stream next Wednesday or if it's just like in my free time. But I do want to at least get one of these guys painted so that I can have something to show for, you know, any of this. It's a little heavy. I'm gonna have to thin that down a little bit. You know what? That's also valid. It took me a while, and that's why I started with Space Marines, because I was like, well, you know, I mean that's kind of like that's like the landing pad. Like, I mean, the first thing you ever see of Warhammer is the Space Marines. I mean, let's be real. Like that's the first thing you're ever gonna see is the Space Marines, because they're like the poster boys of the setting. As a result, they got really boring to me really fast, and that's why I switched. I think I only played, so I started playing at the tail end of 9th edition. That was a few years ago. And I was playing Death Watch So I bought like the Death Watch Combat Patrol, and I had, you know, all that other stuff. It was literally just like your normal Primaris Marines, but with like the upgrade sprues, but they had like rules and stuff that was like, hey, it's like a Death Watch thing, and you have like these little bonuses if you're doing like going against like Xenos and whatever, and like other aliens and shit. But it got really boring really fast. And then 10th edition came out, and the whole thing was like, oh hey, guess what? Tyranids are a big thing. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I should try out some Tyranids. So I did, and Tyranids were really fun. I loved Tyranids. I absolutely loved playing Tyranids. But then I didn't get bored of them. I was just like, you know, like, I kind of want to try something else a little bit, because it was starting to just get a little, like, you know, monotonous. Yeah, so I started with Tertiary. Tertiary is way easier for me, because it, like, painting the primary is way easier than painting the Tertiary, because at least with me, like, painting the Tertiary is just such a big pain in the ass. So, and I do this with all my Chaos models. I always start with a Tertiary, and I go through and I just paint in the primary. It's so much faster, and it's a way better use of my time. Let me get some more. That's a little much, but we'll go with it, because that's not really that big of an area there. So we got that shoulder done. That one bit there. Was it gonna focus? Hello? There you go. Again, this lighting is like horrible. Alright, Patrick, see you later, have a good night. This lighting is absolutely horrible. I need to get just like better lighting in my room. Just in my place in general, honestly. So yeah, so like that right there, that's like a, I mean, it's not like the best thing ever, and I probably will have to, and once I like block in the primaries for these, just like the main colors, I'm gonna go in and, you know, probably do a wash around the whole thing just to make it pop a little more. But that's kind of just like a general idea of like what I do. Like I do the tertiaries first, and then I block in the primaries, and then if I need to fix anything, I go back and I fix it. Most of the time I can do it without having to fix it, because I've gotten to the point where I'm like reasonably precise enough to be able to actually do it. Okay, so let's go back down to the legs here, because usually whenever I start Chaos models, or just Marines in general, I like to start with legs, and I just go from the bottom up. And it's a nice warm up, because the legs have like the biggest surface area in terms of primary colors. So it's just a nice little like, hey, you're starting with the big ones, and then as you're going, you're getting smaller and smaller. I am probably gonna have to go back and fix these a little bit, because already some of the primary is bleeding into the tertiary a little bit. But see, then that's the beauty of it, is being able to then be like, all right, so I see where I screwed it up, and hopefully it's not the entire freaking model. So then you can just go in and you can just like do little tiny dots of the tertiary and just clean it up, and then it makes it just look infinitely better. And it's all just part of the process. Just making sure that you're going carefully and slowly and as precise as possible. It also helps that I have a little bit of practice with red and gold in terms of primary and tertiary, because when I was first doing my Death Watch stint, I was kind of running like a bit of like a low-key illegal like soup list, where I had some Custodes mixed in there, which I don't even think was allowed at that point, but the person who taught me was just like, we'll just screw it, you can just do it for now, and then we'll figure it out. Did I ever get COVID? I did once. Well, technically I think I did twice. The first time I got it was when it was right before it ever even like was like a big deal. And like looking back, I thought it was just like a nasty like fever. And then looking back on it, like, I mean, I couldn't taste shit, and I had like, it was so just like, I was so sick, and I had all the symptoms that matched up with it after the fact. But I never like tested or got diagnosed with it because back then those tests didn't exist. Back in March of 2020. So I was just told to just like stay home for a few days, and then I was feeling better. So then I went back to school, and then COVID hit, and then I didn't get it again until, what was it? I'm trying to remember the day. I did get it a second time. I know that for a fact. I did definitely get it a second time. It wasn't until like a few years later though. I think I didn't get it until after because 2021 was when so it hit in 2020. Most of my senior year of school was virtual. And then when I graduated, after I graduated and I was kind of in between jobs and whatever, I got it, and so I had to be home for a little while. It sucked because I remember testing positive on the night of like, it was a whole night, and like a bunch of my extended family were over, and I was really excited to like hang out with them. And then I was like, I don't feel really good. So then I tested and it was like positive. I was like, oh fuck. And so I ended, it's actually kind of funny. I ended up being like, well, okay, well I can't get them sick. So I ate my dinner. So everyone else was having like a really nice, like fancy like steak dinner. And I had my steak portion. I just had my plate, and I was sitting on my bed in my room upstairs. Everyone else was just having a blast, and I was just up there just being miserable. And what was even worse was that when I was quarantining for like the 2 weeks or whatever it was, I was not sick. I did not feel sick at all. It was only like the first day that I felt like crap. But then after that, I was like totally fine. And I was like, this sucks. Like, why am I still doing this? But I stuck it out. I actually am a little sick right now. I don't know if you can tell, but I am a little sick because there's some strep throat going around. And I definitely got it. So, it's not like terrible. I just have to like drink a lot of water, and if I talk for extended periods of time like I'm doing right now, it gets my throat really really sore. So I have to Sorry about your mom with the stomach flu. That sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it, but like right there on the arrow on the knee pad, I did kind of fuck up the primary and the tertiaries there. So I'm going to have to go back and redetail that at some point. Not right now though. I'm just focusing on getting all the main colors blocked in, and then I'll go back and fix it. Some more water on my brush. There we go. Oh, that's a little too much. There we go. Man, this makes me miss playing Space Marine 2. I really want to play it again on stream, but for whatever reason, it was just, I don't know. I never was able to figure out why it was doing what it was doing. I could never really figure it out. It was only ever an issue when my, when I had VTube Studio up. I mean, that's probably honestly why it was having issues, was because of VTube Studio, and because of running 2 applications at once was probably messing with my computer a little bit. And it's unfortunate because it's a really nice computer, and it works really well, but it has its limits, unfortunately, and we just have to deal with that. Can go to Hula till she gets better. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks, man. I'm sorry. In this level of lighting, it's so hard to like tell where exactly anything is. So at some point, when I have better lighting, I'm going to have to go back over this and be like, oh fuck, this is not at all what I was trying to do here. So I'm blocking in the primaries right now, and then we'll go back to it at some point. Let me see actually, because I have like another light in here, but it's not like a white light. Like barely does anything. I mean, it did something, but not a whole lot. Okay. God, I fucking love the World Eaters. 100% my favorite legion of the 8. Or the 9, sorry. I get confused. Numbers are not my strong suit, clearly. Gotten to the point where I have like pretty decent brush control. I still I have like a really shaky hand when it comes to like, even when it's just like taking pictures. I'm so bad at taking pictures because my hand is so like freaking shaky. It's like it's not even funny how shaky my hands are. But I've gotten a little better at just like brush control and being able to actually like paint where I'm trying to paint instead of just like going all over the freaking place. Spike trim. I will never not enjoy painting you. This is a lie. Every time I have to paint spike trim, I die inside a little bit. There's so many edges that I have to avoid. It's so irritating. But we get through it. We're thriving, clearly. Is that even like a... Okay. It sucks when like everything is one color, because like you're trying to figure out like where the trim is sometimes, and it like sometimes you can't really tell. Sometimes it's pretty easy because like the trim is like just raised enough, but sometimes you have models where it's like the trim and like the tertiary and like the primary are just like almost exactly flush, so it's like it's such a pain in the ass. Yeah, I kind of messed it up on that one, but I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up in a second here. Again, I'm just trying to get all of the primaries blocked in, and then I'll go back and fix it. But for now, we're just... God, this is the part that sucks, is when I have to like hold it like this, like the way it's like this leg is definitely gonna have to get fixed at some point. This specific leg, because I know it's gonna be messy. Like it's very, very messy. But that's all right. We can always go back and fix it. Okay, give me a little bit more of that. Give me a little bit more of this. I'm not even gonna bother. Well, I'll try to avoid those nails there, and if I can't, then I can just go back over them with some more retributor armor. But actually, yeah, there we go. That looks good enough, I guess. Can't really, that, legs like that, when poses are like that, it is so annoying because you have things that are like, guys, why are the nails biting in chat? Why are the nails biting? The nails are biting. Why are they biting? Let me get a bit more water on my brush here. What is the most broken? In terms of range, like ranged firepower, Tau 100%. I am part of the Tau hater club. I'm 100. Well, I don't hate them. I just like making fun of Tau players. I was actually, so this one time, I'll tell you guys a story here. So this one time I was at a local game tournament, and the final and one of like the final round matches was World Eaters. Was it World Eaters? It was either World Eaters or just like generic Chaos Marines versus Tau. And I felt so bad for the World Eaters or Chaos Marine guy because the terrain, it wasn't like super professional like tournament terrain. It was kind of just like casual like scenic terrain. And so like turn one, the Tau guy just freaking, he revs up his guns and just like smited the Chaos Marine guy like off just smoked him off the face of the earth, and I felt so bad. And the guy at the end, he just, he didn't even say good game to the Tau player. He just packed his stuff up and he just left. And then later, in like another Discord server that he was in that I'm also in, he would not stop complaining and bitching. And I was like, dude, I get it. The terrain was a little weird, but like, let it go, man. Like, shit happens. Like, you lose, I lose, we all lose. It's not that big of a deal. It's just little plastic army men. It's just little plastic army men. It's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. I felt bad for him. I really did, because he had spent a long time working on this list, and he's also, like, a super competitive player. So, like, he has all these, like, he has all this stuff about how, like, proper, like, competitive terrain should be, and all this other crap that I could not tell you if I tried to remember. But I felt so bad for him, because he just happened to go against the most, if not one of the most broken and just powerful factions in the game right now. And he just got his ass whooped so hard, and I felt so bad. But, again, at the end of the day, it's little plastic army men. It's not the end of the world. 2v2 tournament a couple months ago. I was running Tau and my partner was running World Eaters. Oh, see, that's awesome, because like World Eaters is like ultimate melee and Tau is like ultimate range. That must have been like carnage, dude. That sounds like fun. I would have watched that. Oh man, that's awesome. Alright, so I got the legs for the most part, I think. No. There's a few spaces here that I can like barely see. This is a very precarious setup because all like my little water pot here is right, like almost right next to my PC, so it's very dangerous. So I just gotta be careful. It's like I can barely even reach in there. That's all right. I got it for the most part. Oh, you lost every match? Oh no! Oh no! The nails, yeah, yes. So just so you know, Beast, if you're not, since you're not one of the initiated ones, the nails refers to a whole thing about the world eaters where they have these little devices in their brains that makes them really mad, and they feel nothing else but getting really, really mad. So that's what it is. It's barbaric as hell. But it's what makes them unique. Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna move you a little bit so you're more like secure. I'll put you right here so you don't keep fucking around. God, this is giving me flashbacks to when I painted some custodies for a buddy of mine. That was not fun. It was okay. It was just really boring. Because like literally the entire job was like paint it golden, you get like the cloth detailing, and then you're basically done. My first couple of games, I was foot slogging orcs versus Tau. Oh Jesus! Dude, orcs are no joke. Orcs are terrifying. I have a buddy of mine is like a competitive player, and he plays orcs. He is scary. He just recently bought a Stompa off of some guy off eBay or something like that, and he and I did like a test match with it. He was just maniacally laughing the whole time. It was some of the most fun I have ever seen him have while playing orcs. But he also plays like Thousand Suns. Orcs are his main army, but he dabbles in like Thousand Suns and Necrons. But orcs are his main ride or die faction, and he is amazing at it. The only reason he doesn't come to any of like the local tournaments that I go to a lot, is just because I guess, I don't know, he has some thing with some of the people that own the store that, I don't know, it's like a whole thing that he hasn't bothered to spare the details on, and I haven't bothered to ask. But if he did go, he would probably be pretty close to winning every single match. He's just too good. We also have another orc player, and she's really cool. It's actually really funny because she was going against my buddy who's a Necron player, and one of her Killicans dealt the final blow on a Catan shard. I think it was the Nightbringer, on a Catan shard, and so now she has a bunch of Necron skulls on that specific Killican's base, and she calls it Godkilla. It is so awesome. And every time it comes out on the field, everyone in the room just goes like, "All hail Godkilla!" So fucking awesome. I haven't played against Godkilla yet, but I really want to. I've played against a Stompa. I've played against like an all like vehicles orc list. That was not fun. It was a Stompa. I think it was a Gorkanaut. It was a Gorkanaut or it was a Morkanaut. One of those two. Imperial Guard. Oh god, I've played against Guard too. They're fun. They're fun to play against. Because like there aren't a lot of Guard players that I know, but all of the Guard players that I know are like really good at the game. There's like a military college near where I live, and there's like a club. It's their like tabletop club or whatever, and there's a Guard player in there who's also in like the National Guard. And he's one of the coolest guys I know, and he's terrifying to play against, but I love it. I love playing against him. Because he's so tactical about it, because like he knows some of that stuff, so he's actually competent. And it is genuinely like every time I see him playing, I'm like, oh god, I feel bad for whoever he's playing against. God, I always hate when models are like posed like this, because there's so many like hard to reach areas that I can see them, but they're like shadowed, so I just have to like guess. I can see them if it's at like a certain angle, and I just have to like hope that I'm hitting all the right spots. I'm definitely gonna have to go back over this one this part at some point to fix it, but for now it's alright, I guess. It's I mean, it's not gonna like turn any heads or anything, but
okay. The best artillery, yeah, guard. Easily. I don't know a faction that has better, just sheer, like, it's insane, especially with all the new deathcore stuff that just came out. It was very heavily focused on like cavalry, artillery, stuff like that. So that's gonna be fun to see in action. I can't wait to see people at my local game store be toting around their deathcore armies. My neighbor is probably so grateful that I'm being quiet tonight, because last stream I did, I was playing Doom Eternal, and I was being very vocal about how much I disliked the level that I was playing. He didn't like say anything to me about it, but I don't think he was very happy. I'm just glad that I beat that level so I don't have to punch my fucking desk again and start yelling. That was not fun. I will never enjoy replaying that level. But then there's the part of me that also knows, like, Doom the Dark Ages is probably going to have similar levels of what the fuck, you know? Okay, so that's kind of, again, that's like blocked out, I guess. Oh, shit. You're good. I need to hit that, like, the bottom. I need to hit, like, the stomach with some, like, dark silvers. Just trying to see if I missed any other primary spots before I move on to the jetpack here, besides the helmet. Okay. Or not the jetpack, what am I saying? The power pack. Baneblade. For when you want to make new friends. Yeah, that's so real. That is so real. When I was playing against that guard player that I mentioned earlier in that tournament, he was bringing a very heavy vehicle list, and he had his entire deployment zone was covered by a Baneblade, a Lehman Russ tank or two, and I could not get past them. I could not get past them at all. I tried to, but I didn't. Emphasis on try. I did not get past him. It's okay, because I killed a few of his characters, and I got some decent points from that, but other than that, no. I was like, barely able to put a dent in him. I did not do very well in that tournament. That was also because I was, like, almost, like, brand new, so there was still a lot of, like, intricacies that I didn't really understand back then. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back over some of these at some point. But for now, this blocking in the colors will do for now, I guess. These little the bells here. I don't know if these have a proper name. I just call them the bells because that's what they look like.
so that one's good. These birds are always my favorite parts to paint on these models because it takes like 2 seconds and like boom, done. And you don't have to do anything crazy to make it look decent. Unless you're like trying to do an entry for the Golden Demon competition, which I will never do and I never intend to do. I'm perfectly okay with just being like a mid-tier painter, if that. So, do. There. There you go. Alright. Okay, so that's those. I need to get the plates down here. I'm not a professional painter by any means, but I do like to think that I'm at least a little bit good. At least a little bit. This is such a nice reprieve from painting like the possessed backpacks. God, that's the one thing that I really don't like about just normal Chaos Marines is the amount of like weird like fleshy bits just on their armor. Is so irritating. Even when it's not even like the possessed. If it's like just like the chosen or whatever, like those, there's so many just like random weird tentacles and shit. Nothing but artillery and air sticks. Yeah, I mean it's your bog standard like soldiers, you know, las guns that kind of plink off of everything. Their artillery is really where it shines, and that is their most effective methods of just destroying everything. Color red. I'm just using Khorne red for now. I might go over it with like a different, with like maybe like a lighter or a darker shade, depending on how this looks once I get some actual lighting. But we're just doing generic like Khorne red for now. For the undivided Marines that I painted, though, I used Galvorback red. It's not even, it's like barely a red, it's like a maroon. You'll definitely have to go back to the bunny ears here, because I definitely screwed up a bit of that. God, I hate the lighting in my area here. It's so irritating. It's nice when I'm not trying to like be like needle focused on something, but when I'm like actually trying to do something, it's very irritating that I can't like see very well and I have to just like, yeah, foot sloggers. That's way more accurate. Sometimes I have to like look at the fucking box art too, because sometimes I'm like, wait, where the fuck is this supposed to be red? Like, oh god, I just fucking, ugh, that doesn't look good. I'm definitely gonna have to go back over that. I kind of just fucked that helmet up. Whatever. I'll get back to that eventually. But for now, keep that as is. I'll just move to the back of the helmet here. Kind of pencil in the primary. Let me get a bit more paint. Some more water in my brush too while I'm at it. Like a tiny bit more paint. Come on, you stupid freaking. There you That's like another area right there that I can hit. I can get like right there. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back over this helmet. Helmets are usually like a weird spot for me because they're very... Blood Angel's contrast plus blood for the Blood God wash gives it... Ooh, okay. I'll have to try that. I don't have that. I don't have the Blood Angel's red. But I will have to try that at some point. I do have blood for the Blood God, though. Right here, actually. I love it. I've used that paint quite a bit. That's a brand new pot, actually, if I remember correctly. If I grab the right one, that's a brand new pot. Okay, now here's the real question. What color would I want the paint be eyes? That's the real question. I don't even know what's like the standard like eye color for these guys. Look at the box art. What is that? Is that like a green? Yeah, that's like a green. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, shit. I see, I also messed up on something else here. All of, like, that was supposed to be red, too, apparently. All the stuff on the feet is supposed to be red, too. Or most of it, at least. Like, all this little shit right here is supposed to be red. Whatever. Nice to know that I could have been at least a little more sloppy with it, but oh well. I'll let that. All right. See you later, dragon. Have a good one. What the fuck is this? Okay, that's just, is that the collar? It's like the collar in the back there. Huh, alright. I think that's everything for the primary. I think I got everything, because I got the helmet. Got all that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and base in the skin color here. So that I can at the very least get that going. What do I have for skin colors? Rack Earth, Catachan, Reichland. Let's go Catachan for the base, at least. Where's my... I have, like, a few different brushes that I like to use for certain things. Like, I have a designated, like this right here. No. This right here is my dedicated red brush. You can actually see, like, the brush has just been like stained red. It's kind of hard to see, but like the brush is like the bristles are just stained red from the amount of red that I use in this thing. So this just ended up being my dedicated red brush. Shake this up a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. Let's get this looking a little better here. Gotta go a little heavier. There we go. And I'll go back over like the wires and shit that are on the forearm here. I can like
fucking see where that goes into. Okay. Good enough. And I gotta get like the lower forearm here. Where are you? There you are. Alright. Now onto the hand. Get a little bit more water. Get it off a little bit. Now that that flesh isn't like that stupid lead belcher color, it's actually looking a little better, but I definitely still need to get more of the details in before I can even get close to calling this finished. It's just like the weird, like the back, the areas that you wouldn't be able to like reach conventionally, you have to like turn it in a bunch of fucking different angles, and it's such a pain in the ass sometimes. Literally, like, if I hold it like this for longer than like a little bit, my wrist is just gonna be killing me for the rest of the night. I just need better wrists for this kind of thing, I guess. Okay, that looks... Oh, fuck. I missed it at the elbow. There we go. Okay. And then I'm gonna go over that chain there, because that chain being red and gold and silver is really annoying me. Who up painting the Khorne Berzerkers? Oh, dude, what's up, Octo? How you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome back, dude. How's it been? How you hanging? What's that, Corvus? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Let me wash all the catechin off of this. Sweet. I would have just kept this lead belcher, but I got like a bunch of crap on it, so now I have to improvise a little bit. I'll probably hit this with like some sort of like a rust, just to make it seem like an actual like length of chain rather than just like a rope. It's kind of getting there, but still, I would have much rather have just kept that the lead belcher color. You know what they say? It is what it is, right? It is what it is, or something like that. Oh shit, I layered that on a bit much. Need to spread that a little better. Giggity. No. It's like a piece. Oh fuck. Is that like... Am I insane? The answer is yes, by the way. I swear to God, there's like parts of that just aren't getting covered up, and it's really annoying. I hate painting chains so much. That is
definitely the worst part to me about being a Chaos player is the sheer amount of chains that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Alright, I guess since I'm at this point, I might as well start dealing with the undersuit here. Just get that done. At the very least, blocked in. So I can have less gold to look at. Not that I don't like looking at gold, it just gets annoying when there's so freaking much of it. Just me, or is it weird how quiet it is right now? Can eat blue foods. Black, oh god, not the Black Templars. Jesus Christ. I am so, like, just, like, so done with Black Templars. Like, not even just because they're Black Templars, it's purely because of, like, the fan base. Like, the amount of Black Templars people that I know who just have turned out to be downright horrible people is crazy. I know, like, 3 of them, which is insane, and they all, like, went down the same, like, crazy pipeline. It's absolutely nuts. It went from, like, haha, we hate the alien as a joke, to, like, guys, I don't think it's a joke anymore. And then it got all, like, and then it just got all, like, crazy and just, like, not good. I love gold. I do. I love that color. It's one of my favorites. Gold and black are some of my favorite colors, which is really funny because the Black Legion color scheme for Chaos Marines is one of my least favorites. I really don't like the Black Legion. For the exact same reason that I don't like the Ultramarines, because they're basic and they're boring and they're obnoxious. Friggin', it took Abaddon 13 tries to actually do anything. And even then it wasn't even like something that he alone did, it's something that he had help with. It wasn't even something he did alone. He had to invite all of his other friends to the sleepover. And then they got something done.
And then they got something done.
Let me get, like, the wires here. The smaller things like these, like the wires on the power packs, will always be like the death of me. These are like the tiny things that I can never remember until it's like too late and they're on the tabletop and I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? How the frick did I miss that? There's that. I'm gonna get those grills too. These are another thing. It ends up being the stuff on the power pack that I end up forgetting about. Like the grills and the little wires usually are the ones that I end up forgetting about the most. Just put you right in there. There we go. Okay, I think that's all of the... Oh wait, no, I need to get these other little wires here on the freaking... God, it's always the little wires, dude, I swear, it's always the little wires. On the helmet here. Gotta be really careful because I don't want to mess up this helmet more than I already did. And this low of a light level, it's really not ideal, but do what I gotta do, man. Until I can afford to upgrade my my setup here. Okay, that's a little too much. I think I did. Yeah, thereabouts. That looks about fine, I guess. There we go. Okay. And then I'm gonna hit the little thingy that's like under the emblem on the chest there. That's mold in it. Yeah, dude, blue cheese is disgusting. I will never eat blue cheese. Never. As long as I live, I will never eat it. Absolutely disgusting. Especially like they serve it as like a side sauce at my job, and it is at like my day job, and it is so gross. God, how am I even, oh no, oh God, I ruined it, ah, shit, I'll just go over it, screw it, and then I'll come back and I'll fix it later, but for now, that'll have to do. Oh, fuck, that was so annoying. I was like halfway there. I was actually getting there, and then I messed it up, because that place is like, that little area is like, is shaded by the freaking chain axe there. Oh, speaking of the chain axe, I need to get this part done. Right, so that's like, I know it's supposed to be like a red, I think, but I mean, once again, I must consult the box art here. Oh, it is actually supposed to be black. Okay. I thought it was supposed to be red, because that's usually what I see all the time, but whatever. Okay. Oh God, this is gonna suck if I mess this up. I gotta be really, really careful. Because if I'm not, then that is going to be a disaster. And I will not forgive myself. God, my wrist ain't gonna forgive me either. Holy crap. Yeah, it's already starting to get a little fucked. Oh, damn it. I have to like literally, like it's almost like I'm like drawing. And I messed it up. God, whatever. I'll live. He can live with his slightly messed up chain axe, I guess. Fuck, that's really annoying. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, Jesus, I hate the like the little inlays and the emblems and shit around these. Yeah, I'm 100% gonna have to redo this. That just looks awful. Oh my God, I don't even know if I want to do this other side yet, because that just looks terrible. I'll do the eyes. I'm just gonna do a black. I don't really feel like doing like a green or anything, because I've already done plenty of green eye sockets and they are not fun, and I really don't like doing them. So I'm leaving these like a, oh, frick. I'll leave these like a black for now, and then
I might come back to those at some point.
Yeah, it is. I can like super easily like strip it off or whatever. Go over it if I need to. It's so irritating to me whenever I'm like going over details like that, and then especially with like such like a thin brush, and then it just gets all sorts of messed up because my hand slips, or just like the angle that I'm doing this at. I wish you guys could see this. The angle that I'm doing this at is such a terrible angle, and it does not work well. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna stop there for the painting, because that is just getting to a spot. I think it's a good spot to leave that at right now. I will come back to it at some point. But yeah, that is, I mean, it's not the worst I've ever done. You guys want to see the worst I've ever done? Let me show you. I still have, I'm gonna go find him. I'll be right back. I think I still have the model somewhere.